Alright, hey guys, Detector here. So today's video is going to be reviewing some metal detecting gear, and I've actually never reviewed this particular item before, so I'm really excited to get to try it out. So today we're going to be reviewing a scoop. So I was contacted by a company called Sito scoops, and they make, of course, metal detecting scoops specifically for the beach environment. So you're not going to use this to, detect in the woods or anything like that. Specifically for the beach and lakes, rivers, things like that. So they contacted me and said that they make a scoop and they would like to have me test it out. So I said, sure, why not? I've never tested one out before. I have a T-Rex scoop, but I bought that. I've read a bunch of reviews and everything, but I just bought it. I never tested it out first and then decided to get one. So I'm really excited to get to try out this particular scoop. So a little bit of background about the company. So again, they are called Sito, S-I-T-O, and I have a link to them here in the description below, so make sure to check them out. The company was started by 3 metal detecting enthusiasts, so they're just like us. They were in this hobby for a number of years, and they felt like they could produce a better product than what was already out there. So they started producing scoops. And they were actually contacted by whites to make a scoop specifically for whites. So if you go to the whites website, you'll actually see the Sito scoop there. It just has the whites logo on it. Exact same scoop though. So these guys have gotten pretty good at what they do, obviously, if they're being picked up by a metal detecting company like whites. So Sito actually produces their scoops in 3 locations. Their primary location is in Poland, but they also have a center in the UK and in Australia. So you can order a scoop from anywhere in the world and they'll ship it to you. All right, so let's go ahead and check out this scoop. Okay guys, so here's the scoop. I'll just give you kind of a whole 360 all around it so you can get a good idea of what it looks like. So, it looks just like a regular scoop. It is, now this one is the smaller version. They do have a larger version. This is, I believe, 170 millimeters. And they do have a 200 millimeter size scoop. So this is the smaller one, which is fine by me, because honestly, even my T-Rex scoop is, sometimes it's hard to maneuver just because it is so big. But this is the 170 millimeter scoop, and this is what it looks like. So I have here a little ruler so I can show you guys some of the measurements of the scoop. So the first thing I'm going to show you is that it does not have the circles or the square holes. This one actually has the hexagon hole. So you can see those, and they're all around. They're on the bottom and all around the scoop here. The only place that doesn't have holes is this top plate and the back foot area, and that's fine. So let me go ahead and show you guys some of the measurements. So let's see. Alright, so we'll look at one of these holes here, and I'll just show you guys about what that measures. So hopefully you can see that there. And then I'll go ahead and show you centimeters in case you prefer to measure in centimeters. So right there. There you go. Alright, so it looks like it's about 1 centimeter or so is what the holes are, and we'll look over here. This is about just under 1/2 inch. Yeah, I would say just under 1/2 inch is what they measure. So they're good size holes. These are actually pretty large holes. So now when I bought my T-Rex, originally I bought it because it had such small holes. And the reason why I did that was because I had this one particular metal detecting day where I found pieces of a bracelet, and these were like teeny tiny little pieces, so they kept falling out of the scoop that I had, and it was a pain. So I bought the T-Rex specifically because it had the smaller holes, and while I like it, it does not filter out as many seashells as I would like it to. I think this scoop will though, because the holes are larger than my T-Rex. So I showed you the measurement of the holes. Now I'm going to go ahead and measure the thickness of the metal. So I'm going to measure this part of the metal right here, which is, I believe, pretty much the thickest metal on the scoop. So let's see here. All right, so the thickest part does measure 2 millimeters or 1/8 of an inch. So this is pretty thick metal in my opinion. Now again, it's right here, which is the top part, and it comes all the way down to where your foot actually presses on the scoop. So this whole section here is that same thickness. Now, if looking at the rest of it, so we'll go ahead and measure this area of the scoop, which is the rest of the scoop. All the holes are the same thickness. So that actually measures, looks like about 1 millimeter or 1/16 of an inch. So it is thinner. It's about half the thickness of this metal up here. And it looks like that's what it measures the whole way around. Now, they do have some welding joins, obviously, and those joints are from here all the way around down here, all the way back this way, and then also back here. Those are the only joints that I see in the scoop. And then we do have the attachment here for your handle onto the top foot area. But that joint is only on the outside. It doesn't go into the inside. And the rest of it, it looks like this part right here, it's not a joint, it's just bent. And same thing for this area right here. It's not a joint, it's just bent. And then we do have the additional support here, which is welded on. But those are the only weld holes. Everything else is cut out, it's machined out. So those are the only joins, which I imagine is probably good, because I feel like the fewer joins you have, the less chance the scoop has of breaking or coming apart when you're putting, you know, a good amount of torque on it. So that's good. So now I'll go ahead and move on to the opening for your scoop handle. So that measures, looks like going all the way across, it's just under 1.5 inches, and it's like 1/8 of an inch under. So, and I believe, I'm trying to think back to what the ash handle that I bought for my T-Rex the first time. I don't remember what that measured, but I know it'll fit in here. So it's just under 1.5 inches, and let's see, for centimeters, in case you want that measurement, it's just under 4, it's about 3.5 centimeters in case you need to know that measurement. And it does already have the machined hole for your hardware. Now this scoop did not come with hardware, which honestly is fine, because when I got my T-Rex scoop, the hardware that came with it wasn't the greatest. So, you know, we put in our own screw after the fact anyways, but this one does come machined drilled already. Now it does not go all the way through. Now I considered drilling all the way through this one, but it comes really close to this back weld back here for this extra support and where your handle goes. So if you were to try and drill in there and go all the way through, and I know it's probably hard for you guys to tell, but this is the top right here, and then, I mean, it would probably end up hitting that weld, and I don't imagine you would want to do that. So when we put in the handle for me to try this out, we're not going to drill it all the way through. We're just going to put in, you know, a screw that'll fit in there and not come all the way through. So I'm going to see how it does, because honestly, I don't imagine most people can drill through the metal to begin with. So, you know, your average person isn't going to have either a drill or a drill bit that's going to be able to get through that. So we're just going to drill in a regular screw, you know, whatever we happen to have on hand, and see how it does. The opening for this hole, it's not very big. So I would say this is 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch. So you're not going to be able to get in a super, you know, big screw. You're not even going to be able to get in a 1/4 of an inch screw. You're going to have to use something a little bit smaller. Me personally, I would like it to have a bigger opening for you to put in a larger piece of hardware. But again, we'll put in, you know, a 3/8 inch screw and see how it handles the torque from, you know, pulling up the sand and shells and whatever rocks and stuff. So yeah, so that's pretty much the scoop, you know, all the way around. I think I covered everything about it. Let me look at this lip here. So the measurement between the lip and your first set of openings is, it looks like 1 5/8 inches. It's just over 1.5 inches. I would say 1 5/8 inches is about what that is. Now I know some people do like to have, you know, either a larger area so they can get through rocks and stuff. Some people like having a smaller area for whatever reason. I'm just giving you all the measurements I can think of on what you would want to know about this particular scoop. So I think I've pretty much covered about everything. So let me show it to you guys one more time. And it's not super heavy. I'll actually get a weight here for you guys so you can see how heavy it is. It's definitely lighter than my T-Rex, for sure. It's lighter. But again, I think it's because the metal is a little bit thinner. So if you have issues, you know, with heavier scoops, this is definitely an alternative because it is lighter. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a measurement for you guys so you can see how much it weighs. Now this is just a regular old kitchen scale. Let's see if I can do it without it rolling off. All right, there. So looks like about 2 pounds and 7.5 ounces. So that's a pretty light scoop in my opinion. I don't know what my T-Rex weighs, but I know it's not as little as this. I'm sure it's at least 3, if not more pounds. So this scoop, without the handle, without any additional hardware, is 2 pounds and 7.5 ounces. And I can go ahead and convert that to grams. It looks like it's 1,119 grams, in case you measure in grams. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put on my old wood handle. Now this is my original wood handle from Rex, but I broke it a couple of months ago and it still has the Raptor handle on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my old wood handle into the Sito scoop, and then we're gonna actually head out to the beach and do some metal detecting and see how it handles, you know, the Florida sand and the Florida shells. So I do plan on doing hunting kind of all over the beach. I'm probably gonna start in the dry sand first, just because that's what I'm gonna hit first. And then I'll move over to the wet-ish stuff, and then we'll move into the water, and then I'm gonna come back. So I want to see how the scoop handles either having some kind of wet-ish sand or going immediately from the water to the dry sand, because I know with my T-Rex, once the scoop is a little bit wet, or even if I'm using or am hunting in the wet-ish stuff, the scoop does not sift out sand and shells very well because it starts actually to clump up around all the openings. And I do find it very difficult to shake out my T-Rex when it's not super dry or completely wet. So I'm going to kind of be moving all around the area, the beach area, with the Sito scoop and see how it handles, and I want to see how it clumps up, if it clumps up at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on the wood handle and we'll head to the beach and do some metal detecting. All right guys, so I'm at the beach that's near my house, and it's about 5:10 in the evening, and it's been pretty windy and actually kind of chilly today, so there's not a whole lot of people here. Actually, there's nobody here. So I'm out here all by myself. I brought Ringer out for today's test of the Sito scoop, and here you can see it. I've got my old wood handle in the scoop, and I took off the Raptor handle just because I really want to feel the scoop by itself. I don't really want to have any assistance on pulling up the scoop or anything like that. So I took off the Raptor handle, and I'm just gonna start detecting here in the dry sand. I am hunting in pinpoint mode, so essentially all metal. I have, I think, my discrimination set to 1, which is the lowest it'll go on my Excalibur. I increased my sensitivity to about 7. And I've got my threshold set at just a nice little hum. And there's something here. I know, it doesn't sound that great, so it's probably going to be garbage. So this is the first scoop I'm taking with the Sito scoop. So I lost the target. I no longer hear it. Take one more scoop. Maybe I turned it on edge. I don't know. I'm not hearing it anymore. There we go. So we'll just dump that out. We'll just go ahead and fill this hole back in and move on to another target. It scoops nicely so far from that one scoop or two scoops that I just took. Woo! All right, so there's something right here pretty close to the surface. So I'm not gonna dump it just yet. I think I missed it. Oh, nope. There it is. All right, so give it a nice little shake. Scoop emptied out nicely. It's a bottle cap, so garbage. So I'm picking up another target, but I don't know if it was another one. Okay, yeah, so there's something else here. So I think this target's, it seems kind of large. I missed it. Yep. Oop, I missed it, whatever it was. I don't think that was it. So now my handle is a little loose in the scoop, but that's only because we had shaved down the end in here when I broke it off of Rex. So it is a little loose, but if this handle were not shaved down, if it was just straight from the store, it would fit perfectly. It would be nice and snug. All right, I don't know where that is, so. I don't know. I don't want to spend all day looking for this most likely junk target. So we're just going to bail on this one. So my whole point, yes, I'm just doing regular old metal detecting, but my whole point is to test out the scoop. And I can't really do that if I'm just searching and searching for this mysterious target. So we got something here. So far I'm liking it, the scoop. Okay, So I think it's like right over here. Should be. There it is. Screw of some kind. And it didn't fall through the hole. Looks like you would have to like jam it to try and get it through. All right. So I got another target in here. All right, so give it a shake. So it's filtering out pretty nicely. What is this? Is that it? Yep, whatever that is, that's it. Yep, some kind of big old chunk of metal. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It does sift out faster than my T-Rex, for sure. I think I got another target here. Sounds pretty close to the surface. I missed it. Found it. So, another kind of screw or something. All right. Now to fill in all these holes. All right, guys, so I've made my way down closer to the water, and I'm in the wet-ish stuff, and I've got a target in here. So let's go ahead and dig it and see what it is. Oh, I see it. I see it. It's a screw. And I actually increased my discrimination a little bit because I've only been digging screws since and the one bottle cap. Since I've been out here. I wanted to try and get a little less iron, but I increased it to 3, but I'm still getting iron, so I don't know if I necessarily went up high enough. I never mess with my discrimination, so I don't know where I need to go to try and eliminate most of the iron, but we'll keep it at 3 for now. And we'll just keep making our way down closer to the water. I want to find a target right in this area because this is, like I said, the wet-ish stuff. And I really want to see how the scoop sifts this stuff out. So now I'm coming down towards the water. I'm not ready to get in it just yet. So I think I'll just start making my way down this way, close to the water, but not in the water, until I find a target in this wet-ish sand. All right, guys, so I found a target right here, and this is in the wet-ish sand. So it cuts in very nicely in this wet stuff. So I believe it's somewhere right in here. Yep. All right, so let's see how it filters this stuff out. Just giving it a couple of shakes. All right, got our first coin. Looks like we got a nickel. 2004. All right. So that filtered out pretty nicely, I think. Still a little bit of sand in there, but it's not terrible. I mean, and it's, you know, wet stuff, so it's gonna clump. Whoop. Got something else here. I'm not sure if it's from this dig. Nope. Nope, it's a different target. All right, so let's fill this one in. This one doesn't sound that great. This one sounds kind of jumpy. It's like whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, that sounds really weird. All right. Yeah, it cuts in very nicely. All right. So it's somewhere right in here. There we go. Should have gotten it. Yep. All right, so let's give it a shake. Now, you guys know I pretty much never shake my scoop because I'm not very good at it. And my scoop doesn't really filter out that great. So this is a workout for me. Oh, got another coin. All right. Got a quarter. And that's weird because that did not sound very good at all. Quarter. Guess it would help if I was looking at the side that had the year on it. 19. I can't get any of the sand off. 1999. All right, so filtered out the sand pretty nicely. That's the scoop after giving it a good couple of shakes. So that's not bad. And the struggle that I'm having isn't necessarily because of the scoop, it's because I never shake out my scoops. I always just dump it, locate the target within my dumpings, and then pull it out from there. I never shake the scoop because my scoop doesn't sift very well and it's a lot of work. So, yeah. So, but it looks like we might have a little coin spill here because I just found that nickel and the quarter, so let me back up and double check this area. All right, I don't see anything else. We'll come back down a little bit here because I was pretty much having a foot on this little side of this little hump and on this little side, and I'm just swinging across like so. And that's how I picked up that nickel and then that quarter. So we'll just keep walking down here a little bit, find a few more targets, and then we'll make our way into the water. And that water's gonna be quite chilly, so I'm not looking forward to going into it. Got a target here. Thinking it's gonna be a little deep. It's not super loud, so I don't think it's right on the surface. It's over here. I didn't think I'd get it in one scoop. Shows what I know. All right, let's give it a shake. I don't see anything that would look like so. I think that's it. Yep, I found it. All right, so we lost our first target through the scoop, and it's a zipper pull. Well, part of a zipper pull. So that is small enough to fit right through those scoop holes, and it came right out. So, and again, these holes are a good size. They're about a 1/2 inch size holes, so a lot of stuff can fit through a 1/2 inch size hole. So you kind of really have to weigh your options. Do you want to scoop with big holes like this, or do you want to scoop with smaller holes? So, yeah. All right, so that was 3 targets in the wet-ish sand. So let's go ahead and make our way into the water. I'm not looking forward to it because, as you can see, the water's quite choppy, but I'll go ahead and make my way in there. So we'll put my coil in. I reduced my sensitivity already, so you don't have to worry too much about that. All right, so now I'm just going to make my way down along the beach. I'm not going to go too far in the water, obviously, because, you know, it's super choppy and it is kind of chilly. So I'm just going to swing my coil. Looks like actually I've got a nice little dip right here. So there could be some stuff caught in here. So I'm just going to search this. Hopefully I don't get too soaked. And the water's never clear here, ever. I've hunted here several times and it's never clear. And honestly, I never really have much luck hunting here. My machines, all of them, always seem to act up here for some reason. I don't really know why. So I'm just gonna keep making my way along the beach in this little cutout here in the water. Oh, got a target. All right, so this is our first water target. Let's see how she does. So I'm just gonna pull the scoop out to the side and check again. I do believe I got it. So we'll give it a little shake. It's not gonna take much to empty this scoop out. Oh, I see it. I see it. Got a little piece of jewelry, I think. All right. So looks like maybe a little piece of a bracelet. It's a little owl. Hope you guys can see that. It's probably stainless steel if I had to take a guess. Not bad. All right. So yeah, that sifted out like super duper easy. Not even a struggle, which I really didn't think it was gonna be. All right, so now we'll just check again in this area, because where there's one piece of a bracelet, there's bound to be another piece, right? I'm gonna try switching to disc mode instead of pinpoint. There we go. So we're in disc. We'll try searching again because it's hard for me to tell if there was anything else there. Whew. I just knolled out. So there is something else there. All right, so we'll go back to pinpoint And I think I'm going to actually lower my threshold. I'm going to get rid of my hum. We'll check again. Just barely something there. It's either super small or really deep. So I'm going to bring my threshold back up, and I want to increase my discrimination. Let's go to 5. Let's see what that does. There you go. So I increased my discrimination to 5. I'm back in pinpoint. Yep, I'm gonna keep moving on. Like I said, that whatever target that was, it's either super small or really deep. It sounds like it anyways. It didn't seem like a viable target. All right, guys, so I've got another target here in the water. Let's see what it is. The scoop works great in the water. It's cutting in just fine. It sifts out beautifully. All right, so I missed it. Wah! Whew. Yeah, the sand sifts out beautifully in the water. There's not a lot of shells in this particular location. Missed it again. I think that's it, actually. I think I see it. Yep, I got it. Hey, check it out, guys. Whew. Let's give that another rinse off. It's a little toy car. A little toy car. There we go. Check that out. Nice little, I don't see if it's a Hot Wheels, but it's a nice little car. Check that out. All right. All right, so here are my finds for today's hunt. I found a bunch of either just screws and nails or unknown objects like this one and this one. Bobby pin, 2 bottle caps, pull tab. I think this is a fishing weight. Not sure. Part of a zipper pull. And for the good targets, I found a penny, a quarter, and a nickel. None of them are super old. I think 99 is the oldest. I found this cool little Spider-Man guy, and his arms move all around, his legs move, his head spins all around. So he's obviously got some kind of, I don't know, bearings or something in there, and that's what the detector was picking up. But he's pretty cool. I found this little Mattel car. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it says, yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't really say anything. It's got a couple of numbers on there, but, so I found that. And then I found this tiny little owl. Let's see if we can zoom in. There we go. So I found this tiny little owl guy, and he's got a little hole on this side and then also on this side. So I'm thinking it used to be part of a bracelet. And there's nothing on the back, just more like textured stuff for his feathers. But I found that. There's no markings on it, so I'm pretty sure it's like stainless steel. Nothing super fancy. And then I found this little earring. And this earring's like in pretty bad shape. It's all corroded all around the edges. It's got a little stone in there. It's like a little milky kind of looking stone. And the post is kind of rusty too, so nothing fancy. So, yep, those are all my targets for today's hunt when I was trying out the Sito scoop. Alright guys, so that was just a real quick hunt that I did today. I think I was actually hunting for about an hour or so. It was very windy. There wasn't anybody else out there, which I really didn't mind. But I just wanted to really do a lot of targets so that I could really get a feel for the Sito scoop. And I've got that right here. So this is my old wood handle like I mentioned before. So let me go ahead and flip it around. And it's still wet because I just rinsed it off. But I really wanted to hit as many targets as I could in the short amount of time that I had so that I could really get a feel for the Sito scoop. And honestly, I really like it. I didn't have any issues with it at all for this first hunt. It cuts very, very nicely into pretty much all the different kinds of sand, the dry sand, the wet-ish sand, and then in the water. It cut very beautifully in all the different sands. I found it very easy to shake out. The sand doesn't really clump around the holes like it does with my T-Rex, and obviously it's because the holes are so much larger than my T-Rex. So I really was a fan of that. Like I mentioned while I was hunting, I don't really ever shake out my scoops because I find it to be a lot of work for me, and I don't know if it's because I'm a little bit smaller or just because I'm weak, I don't know. But I don't really tend to shake out any of my scoops. I scoop the target, dump it, and then I sift in it, and then I, do a secondary scoop just of the actual target. And then I'll shake that out, but really I don't shake full scoop loads full of sand. I don't know, I'm not a fan of doing it. But I did it several times while I was hunting so that I could see how the scoop handles when you try and shake out the sand and the rocks and shells and stuff. Because I know most people do shake it. I don't. But I did today, and I think it was fine. I didn't feel any kind of issues with the structure or the sturdiness of it. There is a little bit of give in this area right here between the scoop and my handle. That's not because of the scoop, that's because my handle is shaved down and it's actually smaller inside here than out here. And again, that's because I broke it with Rex, and so we had to cut my handle out or off Rex, and then it was left, it was pretty gnarly looking when I broke it. So my husband shaved down this area in here, and you can't see it, but it is smaller, so because of that, there is a little bit of give in, when I'm digging, and I can feel that. But again, it's not the scoop, it's my handle. So I think I'll keep using it until this handle breaks. And I will put more torque on it as I keep testing out the scoop because I want to see what it can handle. I want to see what's going to give first, the scoop or my wood handle. And most likely it'll be my wood handle. But, so I will start putting more torque on it as I keep hunting with it. But overall, for this first hunt, I thought it was a great hunt. Like I said, it sifts beautifully in dry, wet-ish, and wet sand. And I didn't have any issues with it. Some of the smaller targets did fall through the scoop. Again, these are 1/2 inch sized hexagon holes. So some of the smaller targets, that little fishing weight, it did come out. The earring came out. I think those are the only two that actually came out. But again, they are smaller than the holes, so that's to be expected. You're going to have that if everything, with everything that's smaller than your holes. But yeah. Overall, I'm a huge fan of the scoop so far. Like I said, it is light. With the wood handle, it does add a lot of weight to it because it is a pretty solid wood handle, and it is heavier. Now, you could easily put a carbon fiber handle like I have on my T-Rex over here, and that would just really reduce the amount of weight that you have to deal with. But this is what I have, so this is what I put in the scoop for now. Again, we'll see how long it lasts until I break this wood handle. But, yeah, so far I'm a huge fan of the scoop. And again, this is the scoop that's made by Sito. It's S-I-T-O. And I do have the links down below, so go ahead and check it out here. And this is the 170 millimeter scoop. They do have a 200 millimeter scoop, so if you want something a little bit bigger, that's the one that you would want to go with. Again, this is small. Let me go ahead and show you a comparison on the size between the Sito scoop and my T-Rex scoop. So let's go ahead and flip this guy over. And this is significantly heavier. Even though it has a carbon fiber handle, just the size of the scoop, the difference, is significantly heavier. So let me go ahead and show you guys. Hopefully I'm not too close to the camera. So I'll put them, let's see, there we go. So you can kind of see the difference. The Sito scoop is smaller. Width-wise, they're about the same size when you look at it up and down. So from here to here, they're about the same size. At least it appears that way from back here. Let me put it out so you can see it this way. So let's see. So there you can see the difference in them like that. Now you will notice a significant size difference where the handles are mounted onto the scoop. So my T-Rex scoop, that's probably like a 5-inch plate, if I had to guess, 4 or 5 inches, versus the Sito scoop, we're looking at maybe 3 inches. So that is a significant difference as far as depth goes. So I mean, you can see there is a very significant difference between the Sito scoop and this is the 8.5-inch T-Rex scoop. So for those of you guys out there that have a T-Rex scoop, whether you have the big one or the small one, you can see the size difference between the two. So the Sito scoop is smaller, but again, it's also lighter. And if you want something bigger, they do have a larger one. It's not significantly larger. Like I said, this one here is the 170 millimeter, and the larger one is 200 millimeters. So it's not a significant difference. I don't imagine the weight difference is that significantly different either. So yeah, so keep that in mind. So that was just a comparison so you can kind of see. I know a lot of people do have the T-Rex or have at least seen a T-Rex in person. So that's just kind of what I'm trying to show you, the difference between the Sito and the T-Rex. So I want to say big thank you to Sito Scoops for sending me over a scoop for me to try out. You guys know me, I don't sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you the good and the bad, and luckily there's nothing bad to report about this scoop. So I'm super excited about that. I hate having to say something bad, but this scoop has gotten thumbs up all today while I was hunting. So I'm excited about that. So good job, Sito Scoops. So I hope you liked today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. If you're not a subscriber to my channel yet, please make sure you do so by hitting the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments for me, go ahead and leave them in the comment section, also located down below. Thank you for watching my video, and until next time, I will see you guys later.